Start the meeting with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Dudash?
Here.
Trustee Kringle?
Here.
Trustee Falk? Here. Trustee Reno?
Here.
Treasurer Shonka?
Here.
Clerk Davis is absent. Supervisor Lewandowski?
Here. Approval of the August 18th, 2025 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Motion by Kringle, is there support?
I'll support that.
Support by Reno. Is there any discussion regarding the minutes?
Yes. They don't have anything about the firefighters' pay raise that they got the last meeting. And also, when they were talking about people speaking, it was just for public comment, prepared report, instead of what the subject of the report was like it normally is. So just wondering if Benita could fix that. That was it, just those things.
What was the second thing?
It was the part-time firefighters got a raise.
Yep, I got that.
Okay, so it's not on the minutes anywhere. And then for the public comment, it was just read for Carol and Michelle, read a prepared statement.
Okay.
And don't they normally have what the subject of the statement was? You know, like, I don't know, I don't remember what Carol talked about last time, but wouldn't you normally put down what they talked about?
Yeah, we talked about, that's the appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't say. So, you know, I know I speak at a lot of meetings, and I spend, you know, it takes me a while to write a speech up, and I think that we could at least write down what the person's talking about, show their respect that way, you know.
Well, we'll look into that and see what's required.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we want to wait and bring these back to the next meeting?
Thank you very much.
We'll do that.
Okay.
All right. Withdraw your motion.
A motion to withdraw my motion?
Withdraw.
I just withdraw my motion.
Discussion on video recording township meetings. We have with us tonight Duran from Blue Water Audio Video. If the board has any questions for him. We can get a motion on the floor if we want first, and then ask questions. Either to do it or not do it.
A motion to do the recording?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion that we record our township meetings.
Which meetings?
Well, you told me that it would just be the board of trustees.
Okay, just want to make sure clarification.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
There were questions at the last meeting about storage, you know, there's just a lot of questions exactly what all it would entail to record the meetings. Where are the tapes, or not tapes, but where would the data, where would that be stored? And also, somebody had concerns about someone getting in there and manipulating, like with AI. And if you could just explain the process?
Sure. So what we have proposed for the township is a stream video recorder and a standalone camera. the data is stored onto the recorder, and then when the meeting is ended and you stop that, it transfers it to a thumb drive. So that thumb drive would then be put onto, you can have it automatically get put onto one of the computers here on the township's network, or right to that device for the clerk or whoever does the minutes to watch that again, or put it out there for someone to watch later on. But it's stored on the device and then stored to USB or transferred directly to the network on a computer or device on the network, secured on the network of the township.
Would we have to worry about anybody manipulating the videos at all?
So we get that question a lot. We do a lot of township and municipalities and do this same type of thing. AI is something that you really can't control, right? So if somebody is recording this meeting right now, they can take my voice and change it to say something that it didn't, right? If you answer your phone call and it's a spam call, and you say, hello, this is Bob, they could take your voice and make it say whatever they wanted it to say with AI, which is more of a reason to record your meetings. Because if you record your meeting and you have the original form of content of what was discussed, somebody then takes that and manipulates it, you have proof of what actually happened. So that's the reason, more of the reason to record and have the original file saved on that stream recorder, protected on your network, or on a thumb drive recorded, right? So AI, I can't control that or speak to say that would never possibly happen. But that could happen, talking on the cell phone or talking in any public place, anybody can record your voice with any cheap app, record it. Now, is it easily seen that if somebody manipulates a voice, I can tell because I'm an AD guy, but it makes it more of a reason to record it, save those meetings secured on the township's network or on a device or on a flash drive. That way you have the original copy of what was said during that meeting and not manipulated later on in the future. Hope that answers your question.
Would this go on YouTube or there's a few other?
That's completely up to the township, whatever they decide, right?
Okay.
So if there's lots of ways to stream that service or public, to post it. You can take the video and post it on your Facebook page. You can put it on YouTube. You can put it on lots of different platforms. That's really up to you what you do with it. Most municipalities and government, places will just record it, put it on their Facebook, right? Or they'll just save it for members of the board to go back and watch or do their minutes or double check what was said during the minutes. And that's what that's for. That's typically what most people do. Some decide to do a live stream it, right? This system's capable of doing that, but you'd have to set that up. But typically, we've done other local, I'm not going to name who we've done around, but there's local municipalities that we've done. They push a button to start the recording, they push a button to end the recording, it secures it and encrypts it onto a flash drive, and then a member of the board could view that later on down the road if they needed to.
Okay.
So what equipment is involved in the recording?
So we have, in the proposed bid, is 2 microphones, one right around here to record the board, one in the back to record the public, and then there's a video camera, which I think is TBD exactly where it was to be placed, but I believe it was going to be back in that corner somewhere in there to kind of keep an eye on the board, or watch the board, or if there was a podium at some time, you could move it to look at the podium. And then it would go to a stream recorder, which is that device that records the meeting and starts and stops the meeting recordings. That's what's proposed on that. And the cable wiring and labor to hook it up and that kind of stuff.
Would they be able to start and stop the recording here like a desk?
No.
That capability?
No, there is a way to do that. Believe it or not, it's a lot. You could do it from a computer. I guess that would be an easy way. That is a possibility. If you were connected on the secure network of this, you could, somebody has a laptop connected to the township's network, they could start and stop it from there. So yes, they could.
Okay.
Other townships, they have like control systems, like panels on the wall that start and stop. We didn't really get into that here, but that's an option. And that's kind of what a lot of municipalities do, but the price almost goes up 5 to 6 times for adding one of those control systems. Because it includes other things, audio and video distribution. We've done quite a few in the area. We've worked for Fort Gratiot Township, Kimball Township, Brockway Township. We're getting ready to do some work for tomorrow. We do a lot of municipalities, churches, and schools that use the same type of equipment.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
If they view something on the TV, that's not recorded in, right?
If it's in view of the camera, absolutely. And that's a reason, if you do that PTZ camera, it has a remote control. So if someone's presenting, or if a business comes in and is trying to do a proposal for whatever it may be, or somebody's bringing up something for public comment and they want to show a video, you could have that camera push button 2, let's say, and it would zoom in on the television. You would still hear the audio of what was being said, but also looking at the screen. And then when you're done, hit button number 1, it brings it back to the wide view of the board or the main room.
Do you have any comments, John?
I went on YouTube and viewed the ones that are out there now. I only found 8 meetings that have been recorded. And there was a total of 1,341 viewers for the total of the 8 meetings. It's an average of 168 views. And that's, I don't know that they're all township residents that view it, but that's only like 1.5% of the population that view the 8 that are out there. So I don't think we need to spend that kind of money to do that for if that's all the reception there is. That's just my opinion.
I went and I was looking up the, here in St. Clair County, the municipalities that did tape. Now, as of this, today when I checked for Michelle's, we're up to 53 subscribers now. So Algonac, they've been taping since February of 2020, they've got 84. China has been taping for just about a year now, and they've got 42. Clay's got 185, and Columbus is very popular because they have a lot of exciting meetings, and they have 2 different channels too. One channel has 8 subscribers, and the other one has 17. Cockerville's been taping a long time. Oh, I didn't write them. They're like 1,000 something. Cockerville is. Let me see who else they have. Some of the municipalities, there's like a group of 4 or 5 of them that do the NEMCTV. So like Memphis and Casco and Richmond and Lenox Township. So they all go together, so you can't really see how many subscribers they have. But, you know, I mean, we've got 53 already. So, and that's good. Some of these places, you know, they've been going on for years, and you know, they've only got 40 subscribers. I just think it's a good thing to be able to, I do that all the time. I watch meetings, and it's good to go back and refresh, you know, when you have a question about something. So I really do like, you know, that we can hopefully take these meetings for that reason, so people know what's going on.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The system you're proposing, and that you've quoted, would be a system that the township purchases and it works through the township's network.
Correct.
There's no external control or recourse to you folks if you get there and something doesn't work.
It doesn't have to be out to the internet at all. Right. I mean, so you have the option, right?
No, I'm not talking about, we get the system set up. It's something that's here. You don't have a tech who comes and runs it for the township.
Oh, no.
And then all the storage would be on-site, not off-site.
Correct, yeah.
Just a second. Does the board members have any more discussion that they want to? I noticed I missed public comment, and I'm going to ask for comments from the audience regarding just this issue, and then once this issue is done, I would like to hear their comments. And we could just do public comments and then get back to this for the vote. So, anyone have any comments? More further? Okay, let's hold off on the vote on that, and I'm going to open it up for public comments. Gentleman back here had something to say?
Good evening. My name is Chris Mortimer. I live at 2880 Waldheim Drive. And I just want to let you know that I am a big proponent of having these meetings at least videotaped, placed on the website. Anybody can go on the website, take a look at what the meeting was. I'm not so sure you need to be a subscriber, nor do we need to measure people for that. Are you measuring people who go to your site and actually look at things on there? It wouldn't necessarily be a subscriber situation. So I'm not so sure we're measuring it properly to allow a lot of people who cannot make these meetings to see what's going on. Can I comment on anything with Durant?
I normally don't allow that, but I'll let you ask a question.
I have actually quite a few. I think it's valid. I think it's very valid. Has to do with the.
You have like 3 minutes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Duran, we're putting in a camera system here at the moment, are we not?
Correct, yes.
And that has a recorder on it.
That's a record, yep.
Can we use that recorder, add one camera in here and a microphone and still use that recorder? Is there enough room on that recorder?
Absolutely there is, yep.
So we wouldn't have to buy two
You wouldn't have to buy two...
recorders.
Oh, no.
So therefore, we could save $2,000 off the $6,354.92
I would
bid.
highly suggest away from that.
Why would that be?
So 3 main things. One's ease of use, starting and stopping and storing the data there. 2, if you ever go to stream that footage, the equipment that you have here is NDAA compliant. It's a government facility or publicly funded, so it holds certain standards that you have to have in order to use equipment in the building. And if you ever open that up onto the network for live streaming or anything like that, it breaks.
And I'm not talking about live streaming. I'm just simply a copy of the meeting that
Yep,
we can
and then
take
the
on a
third thing
thumb
would
drive,
just-
move it over to the website,
You could. So
their
ease of
Facebook
use
page, and
video-
post it in 2 seconds flat.
It's a little bit more difficult than that, and
2
it comes
minutes?
to audio and video quality.
2 minutes? Well, if we just go at a reduced rate, at a
I'm
medium
not
quality, we don't need
definitely
high
arguing
tech.
about anything. You absolutely could do that.
HD.
I would advise against it because they're 2 completely separate things when it comes to audio and video recording. Microphones and then the video quality with optical zoom and things like that, compared to recording clips of a surveillance footage. So yeah, I would advise against it, but you absolutely could. Yep.
I think it needs to be in consideration. That's a $2,000 savings off of that bid. Also, do you truly believe at PTZ, after being in this room now, other than for maybe, like you said, bringing in an outsider to speak for a while, the camera we have in this room now covers us.
Correct.
By adding one extra camera, you could add the council, right?
What was your question, though?
My question would be, then why wouldn't we just drop the PTZ at a cost of $1,200 and add a $200 camera to the existing system that we're putting in at the moment right now, and therefore save another $1,000 off of that $6,300?
You could. Again, I would
Or
advise
at
against
least
it
at
based off video
$3,300
quality.
where we used to be
I'm
at
not here to
$63.
debate that.
I'm not either. I'm just
We're
saying
gonna stick
it needs
with
to be
what
looked
it
at
is.
so that we can make a very good decision on this for something that.
I would just advise against it just based off audio and video
Understood
quality
what
of
you're saying
recordings.
there.
But then it is completely a possible option. There's lots of things you could do.
100%.
I would advise against it.
And through legal, would be okay, Bob? You see any issues with that? It doesn't, with his thought about having to not have it out there, I don't see any issues that we would have.
That would be a decision that the board would make on whether they're gonna publish it on their own website or
Which is opposed to Facebook, as I understand it.
however.
I appreciate your time. I would like this to take place. I think it can be redone, revamped, take a look at the costs associated with it. Looks like we're cutting it in half, and I think that's where we need to do to move forward. I appreciate your time.
I'll go. Michelle Brown, Ravenswood, Port Huron Township. At a previous meeting, it was stated that live streaming Port Huron Township board meetings would not be pursued if video recording was implemented. And what I don't understand is why the board wouldn't move forward with this live streaming option when the capability does exist. And the public clearly will benefit from it. Citizens Watch, as mentioned earlier, is now at 53 subscribers. True what Mr. Mortimer said, subscribers is just a number. There's more than just 53 people watching these videos. So that means next week, or the next board meeting, will all be live, and everyone will have an invite to that live video feed to test it out. Secondly, I want to address, I had placed a comment or a post on the Community Hub page about these Menard rebates that aren't being recorded in the ledger. A circle of folks dismissed this concern, calling it petty, which was completely missing the point. What's troubling to me is a former township employee who managed, I guess she was involved with the books. It didn't have an issue with this. It's kind of alarming because this financial oversight doesn't recognize the impact. It suggests poor practices have been normalized and passed down to the next leadership teams or board member teams. You might think it's insignificant, but they do reduce our payments, and over time these savings add up. I've seen the savings. And then Bob, you misled the community about the waste management
No, I didn't.
issue. And it's not just disappointing, it's dangerous. Public trust isn't a formality, it's the foundation of your role. There's many people that have seen what I'm sharing, and they're in agreement. There's video. I just urge you to think seriously about what you've said to us on video and in your emails, and it just doesn't look good.
I was informed, as you read in the emails, in October.
Are you talking to me right now?
Yes, I
It's
am.
public comment. It's okay.
I can talk.
Okay.
In October, is that true? I'm telling you that right now.
Pardon
I was
me?
informed that the cans were possibly going to be coming in December in the first week, 2 or 3. Is that right? You read them. You don't know?
I don't understand what you're saying.
In October, I was first contacted by Waste Management that they said they were planning on rolling carts out possibly in the first 3 weeks, within the first 3 weeks of December.
I don't have a knowledge of that. I have an email.
You're saying
I have
you
a
had-
knowledge. I'm just saying.
And then I didn't hear anything from them
It's okay.
until like December, November
It's not- it's
26th
just-
or 27th.
Okay.
And the carts came out like the first Monday in December, which was a few days later. And I had no
You
information.
sat up here and you said you didn't know anything about it until the calls started coming in.
We knew they were gonna come out.
We didn't know. None of us knew.
I had no
You never even
information to
had
give to you to
communication.
tell
You
you
never
how
had
things were gonna
communication with
operate.
any of the
We're done.
residents. No newsletter communication, nothing.
We didn't have anything to communicate at that time.
I think that you did, because if I FOIA St. Clair County, I can get earlier dates too. Should I do that?
FOIA St. Clair County.
Yeah, because they're aware of these changes.
I don't know what you're getting at.
I don't know what you're getting at.
But anyways, anyone else have any public comment?
I do. Bob, before you start my timer, could you please ask Mr. Shaka to put his stuff down and listen to people talking? He never looks at the public when they're talking. It's not only rude, it's very unprofessional. And I'm going to be addressing him, so could you please ask him to pay attention to public comment? We come here to speak, and he doesn't ever look. He's constantly on his computer reading stuff, so could you please do that? Okay, first I want to address the elephant in the room. At the last meeting, I referred to being called a Karen. I didn't name anyone, but today I must. Mr. Shanka, you and another board member publicly labeled me with that term. I want you to understand how inappropriate that was, not just towards me, but toward any citizen who comes here to engage with their government. Resorting to name-calling is unethical, beneath the office you hold, and damaging to the trust between this board and the people. I asked for an apology, but you have not given me one. Tonight, I respectfully request that you apologize not to me personally, but to the citizens of this township. Because when you demean one, you demean all of us who dare to speak up. Our township should not tolerate that kind of behavior from its leaders. I ask that you apologize during the board correspondence at tonight's meeting. Secondly, transparency. Citizens have asked for clear communication, but we're still waiting. Minutes remain uncorrected. Agenda packets are not posted. These are basic, simple acts of openness, yet they are not happening. If there's nothing to hide, then please show us what you're working on. The next thing I want to ask about is the PFAS issue. This is a serious problem with serious health consequences. People of this township deserve to know what's being done and when. If no action is underway, then please tell us. To our attorney, Mr. Bogen, please address to the township people if you have anything going on with the PFAS when you do your correspondence, please, just so that people watching at home can have, we'd greatly appreciate updates on that, please. Next, Mr. Lewandowski, I'll talk about the waste management thing. The waste management rollout could have gone very differently if residents had been informed early. Emails show you knew the changes well in advance. Transparency from the beginning would have saved people money of buying new bins, frustration, and mistrust. Going forward, please update us on important matters as soon as discussions begin. It's simply just good leadership. Next, communication could be improved if other boards gave updates at the meetings, such as Parks and Recs. I know we have Mr. Shanka up here, the museum, and I see Kim's here, which I appreciate. The DDA, which I know Pat's part of that, but now we have Mr. Hernandez. So citizens want to hear about events, projects, and progress, not just last-minute notes. Even if, Bob, you could take and put your update on the agenda moving forward, that would probably be really beneficial just to update everybody on stuff coming. With the videotaping, at the last meeting, the value of taping was questioned because of low statistics. Thankfully, that very comment, Mr. Shanka, caused our views to soar. As of this morning, we have enough subscribers to truly make a difference. Since Michelle began taping in January, and Mr. Reno, I literally counted 3 times. In 8 months, we've had 1,539 views, which is an average of over 190 views per month. That is far more engagement than the few who attend in person. People do care, and videotaping is absolutely a good bang for the buck. Finally, I want to thank those who serve us daily, the sheriff's deputies and our fire department. When I posted the sheriff's monthly report last month, citizens were grateful to see the work being done on their behalf. That is what transparency looks like. Information that builds trust, partnership, and safety. I stand here because I care about the township. I really do. I ask you to do the same by listening, by respecting citizens, by being open and leading by integrity. And I'll leave you with this. Leadership is not about power, it's about service. Service requires respect, and respect starts with listening. We, the citizens, are watching, we're paying attention, and we expect better. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I'm Jennifer Lickey. I live on 2503 Chestnut Street. I live about a block from 24th Street. The subject I'm bringing up is about the homeless folks. I've brought it up in other meetings in the past, and even come in here along with my neighbors have discussed it. Someone recently was shot near my house, one of the homeless folks, and it's very disturbing. It's one of those people that, people come and go. This person in particular was one that was very, very loud. I did not feel safe in my own backyard. My next door neighbors think about putting up a privacy fence because they keep entering her backyard. It's been an ongoing issue. I've been at this house for 13 years now this month, and I would like to know how many times the township has communicated with the private owner of the property that's between like my house, Kroger, and that area to let them know about the people who are homeless, camping out in the area, creating trash, making drugs, doing God knows what else, entering people's houses, breaking in. I want to know what is being done because everyone's scared. Not every homeless person that has been out there has been problematic, but there have been some issues. Neighbors have called the sheriff department because we are in the township, so that's their jurisdiction. And they get told, what are we supposed to do? Unless someone's actively in a fist fight, nothing's getting done. So I would like to know, has anyone contacted the owner of that property, and what are they going to do? Because I don't want to see anyone hurt. I understand that any of us can be homeless because it sucks out there. My rent keeps jumping up and jumping up and jumping up. And so that could be any of us. It's just, I want to feel safe. I want to be able to hang up my laundry. I had one of them staring at me. It was like 2 days before he got shot. Standing in the lot next to me. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go inside. I live by myself. I'm unarmed. I lift weights 4 times a week, so I know I can handle people. But this guy is a lot bigger than me. I have no one at home to help me. If something happened, no one's gonna help me. So I don't know what to do. It's frustrating, you know, and I'm sad for these people because some of it's by choice sometimes, it's life circumstances, whatever. But what can be done and what's being done? I would like to know because my neighbors ask, I'm probably the only one that comes to these meetings. I would like to know what I can tell them. So I don't know if anybody has any information.
I did instruct the DPW about a week and a half ago to cut down all the, like, Fitz Fright lights that are back there.
Right.
And just mow it all down.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of give a visual so they don't like to hide.
Right.
There's nowhere to hide.
Right.
But he went out there and no more broke.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I appreciate
it's on the list.
getting it cleaned up. I just, you don't want to see anyone have a lawsuit because, hey, a homeless person tripped and fell, hurt themselves, they need money.
Right.
You don't want to see that. And it's usually like an ounce prevention, you know, kind of thing. And I don't want to see any of my neighbors get hurt because someone's having an off week because they're not medicated, whatever else they're on. I'd like to see everybody safe. And it's just very frustrating. I just feel like, you know, just you want to just up and move, but I just can't because everything's expensive, whether you're rent or own. And
Right.
so it's like you're almost stuck. So I'd like to know what kind of communication has been going on with them, the people who own that property. Are they aware of these people that are camping out?
The property directly behind you, they have been trying to cut that field, haven't they?
The only thing I have seen is when the electric companies come by, like the power lines. I think it was June 8th of 23. It was a Thursday. So they were about 10 feet away from the lines, and I could see from my kitchen window, like Kroger parking lot and such. But other than that, it hasn't been touched. So I don't know.
Okay, so I thought they were cutting it.
If they
You
have, I
would say,
haven't
like,
seen them. I
behind
might be at
Rent
work.
center and stuff.
But it looks overgrown. There's plenty of deer and cats and whatever else back there.
Okay.
So,
I'll check it out, but like I said, the property behind Kroger's through to Kmart,
mhm.
I've instructed the DPW to cut it, and like I said, the equipment broke, so.
Okay.
Now, we had an issue, I'm assuming that's the parcel behind, of course, can't be. Well, you're on Chestnut, north side of Chestnut.
Yep.
Back up to that area, and just opposite the area behind you is the actual parking lot for Kroger.
Between my backyard and.
So we had an issue in there before, and we contacted an out-of-state owner, and we got it mowed and clean. That was when there was a lot of debris out
Yeah.
there. So, if the board instructs me, I can contact Ted and
That's fine.
reach out to them again. Because I think when it's mowed clean, you have less of a problem with people going in there, correct?
Yeah, I will say though, a positive thing. I think it was within the past 3 years. I can't remember exact date, but when I saw someone in the wooded area behind the house, and they had a bonfire, and it was kind of dry out. I did call Township, and it was taken care of. So thank you, whoever did that. But I'm not sure who I talked to. But so that stuff has gotten done, but it's just when the whole safety thing is kind of a big thing for me.
I think Andy, can we burn it down?
We burnt it 2 or 3 years ago now. Phragmites are on like a 5 or 6 year cycle. So even though they're all, when you see them, they're brown, they look dead, they're actually very wet inside. So when we do burn them, it's kind of burning the underbrush to get the Phragmites hot enough to burn.
Mm-hmm.
But after burning, so the recommended procedure with those is to spray them and then burn them, and then just constantly spray them and then promote some different growth, whether it's grass or, you know, native plants.
You call the drone commissioner, he's probably got experience with finding someone that can spray that.
Excuse me, Jennifer, can you say your last name again?
Litke, Litke.
Anyone else? Yes.
Laura White, 3330 West Water Street. About a week ago on Sunday, I did not call the cops, but at midnight, someone rang my doorbell. I just want people to know to be cautious. To find out, I went and talked to another neighbor, and a couple days ago, and they said they had muddy footprints on their front porch. So please watch out for your neighbors, because a lot of people, like myself, I'm alone, like she's alone.
Mm-hmm.
Check on everybody, please. Because it was at midnight on a Sunday.
Right. Thanks for your
I
comments.
got a comment on that, Bob. Amazon and those guys are now delivering in the middle of the night. And I wouldn't have known it was Amazon except for the beagle went off, the ring went off. And we looked in the front, and here was our delivery package, and it was like 2 in the morning. I mean, they can work out in the building at 2 in the morning, why they have to work out in the front yard? Bad enough I got all those deer.
Call them, let them know.
No, I didn't. Those are delivering all over the place at 10 at night now. I'm
Anyone
not
else?
saying that's not my footprint, but. So good morning, Amazon delivery.
I don't do Amazon.
I'm sorry.
But when Beethoven's Fifth plays on my front door,
Yeah, at that time.
yeah.
All right, back to the discussion on video recording in township board meetings, of township board meetings. I know everybody's been talking about how often that the videos get looked at and all this other stuff. I know Carol put a thing out on Facebook for people to call me or email me as far as for interest in regarding the video recording of township board meetings. I didn't get anybody. I'm
I'm
surprised.
sure, Bob, that they, after being called a Karen, people in the retribution that we've gotten on my road from
You haven't
speaking up.
gotten retributed.
Yes, we have.
No, you have not.
Yes, my neighbors.
No,
Yes,
that was
I
not
have.
retribution.
Retaliation.
Retaliation. No, it was
Retaliation.
not.
It was. It was, Bob, I'm sorry.
But it doesn't matter to me either way. It's whatever the board decides they want to do.
I don't think we need to go on Facebook. Personally, I think if we're gonna do anything, we can stream us live.
We can do it on YouTube or something
Whatever.
on the website, but I'm not going on Facebook.
Streaming live or just like the churches do, they stream Sunday morning services live and then it's all gone except for private.
I'll discuss it with some other locals that do it and see if they do it live or if they do it later or whatnot. We'll go from there.
Table the motion to pass this thing or?
Not tabling. We got a motion on the floor and support. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Falk,
Yes.
Pringle,
Yes.
Dudash,
No.
Reno,
No.
Shanka,
No.
Lewandowski.
Yes. Motion fails. If it's a tie, it fails.
No. Sorry, thank you.
agenda items, attorney's report.
Good evening. You have in front of you my report for activity in the month of August. I think it's self-explanatory. I don't know if there's anything that warrants specific highlighting, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions about?
Responsive to Ms. Miller's inquiry, I just want to make, I don't think you understand my role here. I want to make sure it's clear. I am an attorney for the board. I am not corporate counsel for the people of the township.
I understand that.
I do not have a budget line item. I don't have authority to do anything that I'm not directed to do. I do understand the PFAS issue, at least on a general level, and perhaps a little more specific as it applies to drinking water concerns, which we fortunately don't have in this community. And where that impacts groundwater, which fortunately all indications are that we don't have that issue in this community. We have a surface water issue. All the information I have on how you address a surface water issue is you have to identify a source, which we don't know, health department doesn't know, Eagle doesn't know. They have much larger budgets than the township does and much better investigative abilities than the township does. I'm just anticipating what the township's response would be. If they don't know where the source is, and we can't come up with that information internally, there's very little we can do to A, identify a culprit to hold accountable, and B, stem that flow. I mean, you all heard Eagle's presentation, and we heard the health department's presentation. It's why such a heavy concentration in the 40th Street pond? Where could that possibly be coming from? And nobody seems to know. Can't find a source upstream. Lots of speculation. I would say there was a lot of reckless speculation when that discussion took place. Names were dropped without any credible evidence to support a theory of liability. Worthwhile investigations for the state to pursue. And I believe the state's going to have Eagle's going to have a presentation in October.
October 29th, is the date that they tentatively have set. They talked about having it, I was going to talk about this at the end, but.
Oh, sorry. Took the wind out of your sails. I'll let Bob
But,
say.
they said they're gonna get a flyer put together, and as soon as they have the flyer, we will post it on, the website and Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate the update.
Yeah, one last thing. My understanding was Eagles, and I'm hoping that they will share this with this community and the larger community in October, was that the deep water well test did come back negative for PFAS. I don't know what happened with that shallow water well, and I don't know if that data is, if they'll disclose that if the person doesn't ask for it. And they indicated that with what they had, they weren't going to go digging for anything more deep water. I suppose if you agitate for them, they might go through some more shallow water or mid-section tests. But all evidence we have that I'm aware of is that we don't have a drinking water problem, we don't have a groundwater problem.
Okay, thank you.
If we can identify culprit, then we have the source to go with.
Thank you for updating us.
Sure.
The engineer is out, couldn't make it tonight. The sheriff deputy couldn't make it tonight. You have the sheriff's report in front of you. Does the board have any questions?
I was gonna ask the sheriff about that shooting, that you were talking about. Looked at an article and I just wondered, tell us exactly what happened and any updates, so I won't get that answer tonight.
What I've heard, and I'm not saying it's the God's honest truth, but what I've heard is that there was a shooting that night over near, I don't know if it was 15th or 17th,
It's 28th and Oak.
28th and Oak, they said it happened?
Yeah, and they
Okay.
walked 24th Street Pizza.
Right, the guy came walking in the end.
Right.
Okay, so 28th Street. Okay, that's good to know, because that's not what.
I haven't heard of any death related to it. He was transferred to Macomb for treatment.
So you own a rent.
I rent.
All right, fire chief's report.
Good evening. You see the report in front of you. We didn't have any notable incidents in the township, which is a good thing. A few of the issues, the homeless camps and stuff. During the day, if the sheriff's deputies are busy, the fire crews do go out there and move them along. Or if we do get an incident out there. I'm not interested in sending my guys out there at night.
Right.
We don't
I get it.
have a way to defend ourselves either, so. But if you ever have an issue with it, feel free to call the fire station.
I don't even have a baseball bat, so I don't know.
We could probably spray them off, but that's about it.
It'd probably make them mad. Worse.
Yep. So after the last board meeting, Randy Fernandez approached me, asked if we needed any equipment or anything. So I told him we do need new radios. We did purchase 4 a few meetings ago. So he's trying to secure funds for that. And he also is working with Sunco to secure funding for a new gas meter. So the new gas meter will replace the old one on our ladder that's out. It's out of date and you can't service it any longer. And so our ladder truck, not only does it respond to large fires, it's also our confined space or high angle rescue vehicle. So it's definitely an important tool for that truck. Last thing I got is a letter of appreciation for Ryan Moses. I brought him with me. He took full-time employment with the city of Port Huron. He's been with us 2 years. Some of you guys remember his first board meeting where he hired in was the change in medical protocol. So kind of trial by fire. It was a 2-hour-long board meeting, listening to me talk. So Ryan started with us. He came from Clyde Township. We hired him as part-time only. So that just means he works his shifts, goes home. But on his off time, if we need him, he comes, works overtime. He comes on emergency callbacks, which is huge for this community because we rely on that a lot. So I hate to see him go. If I had a full-time job for him, he would have been my first pick. So I shouldn't say that on camera with the other guys watching, but Ryan's a very good worker. So I wanted the board to sign a letter of appreciation for him. Since I didn't get a chance to talk at the last board meeting about the part-timers wage study, I'll kind of have him talk about his experiences working here in the township.
It's been an honor to serve all the residents over the last 2 years. I came in with no experience at all, really. I've been in Clyde Township, but that's just paid on call, and coming here was a real eye-opener. So the guys took me under their wing, and I'm very thankful, and I will always remember where I came from. So it's just been an honor working for all you guys. And once again, thank you for the approval for the part-time wage increase. All the guys are happy about that. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if a full-time position opens up back here at Port Huron Township, you think you might bounce back there again?
I'm not able to answer that.
I'm sure you are. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for Chief? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the support.
Item E, audit report presentation.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here tonight. For you don't know me, I'm Paul Bailey. I'm partner in charge of your annual financial audit. This is Tammy Pitzer. She runs the day-to-day audit here on site. As you know, you contract with our firm to do an annual financial audit. My staff comes out. We spend a couple of weeks with your staff, and we got to pull it all together and we come out and go through it in depth with the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer. Take a lot of time going through it. And tonight we'll just briefly hit some of the highlights. It's about a 90-page document. I think you got an electronic copy. I also handed out a hard copy, and I handed out a Cliff Note version so we don't have to go through the 90 pages there. So if we can kind of just talk about this, turn in just past the title page. One of the first things in the audit report is something called the Independent Auditor's Report. This is Roman numeral I. It's where our firm gives an opinion on whether your financial statements are presented in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. You have what they call an unqualified or clean opinion. That's what you're striving for. When we got done, we had to send it to the Department of Treasury. That's one of the first things they look at is what type of an opinion you got on your financial statements. And basically what that means is everything is presented in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. The next two items I'm not going to spend much time with, but there's actually two sets, as I've explained in the past, there's really two sets of financial statements in your audit report. There's a commercial way of looking at Port Huron Township, and there's the traditional way townships have reported for probably 30 or 40 years. The commercial way adds in the value of the buildings, the roads that you might have done, water and sewer systems, things like that. You can't spend them again, they're assets of the township, but they're included in that number, as well as all liabilities, any bond issues that you owe, anything like that. That's the commercial way of looking at it. We're going to spend our time with that, what they call the fund financial statements, or the traditional way governments have reported for the last 30 or 40 years at the bottom of page 1. Your general fund this year, at the end, December 31st, 2024, you had assets of $7.3 million. You had liabilities of $1.5 million, which left a fund balance of $5.8 million as of December 31st, 2024. And you can see how that compares to the 23 numbers. If you turn over to page 2, your general fund statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance. This is your operating statement this year. You took in revenues of $2,683,421. You spent $1,792,455. You did other financing uses of $316,051, primarily transfers to other funds, for a net change in fund balance of $574,915. Revenues over expenditures, so a good year. We give you a 5-year analysis of your fund balance there, and you'll see it steadily went up over the last 5 years, which I commend the board on, the conservative approach. We also included graphs for you. If we look to page 5, the first pie graph is just the general fund revenues, and you can see it's pretty consistent from year to year. Just 46% of your money comes from intergovernmental sources. That's primarily state shared revenues coming in, or any other type of grants. So the next largest piece there is taxes, and you can see, this year taxes made up 29% of your general fund. Last year it was 31%, so they're relatively the same. Just to give you an idea where your money comes from. The next pie graph does the same thing, but it is for expenditures. And as usual, your biggest piece of your pie is what I call your general government, and that includes the supervisor's department, the clerks, the treasurer, the assessor, things like that. Amounts to about 45%. Your police department and your fire department are separate funds. Some municipalities have them as part of the general fund, so I caution you if you're comparing between municipalities. Just because your general government's high in your general fund, smaller governments tend to have their fire department and the police department as part of their general fund. So that would change the numbers quite drastically. And you can see there was a change, significant change between 2023 and 2024, but it's primarily because of the operating transfers to the fire department and other funds this year out of the general fund there. And when you change one piece of the pie, I always caution that changes all the pieces of the pie accordingly. Page 7 gives you a general fund balance, and you can see that 2020, 21, 22, it's been a steady increase in your general fund balance. And the final pie graph there just takes the whole township and says, okay, we're going to talk about some other funds that we use to account for money, but if take the whole township together, where did you spend your money? The largest piece is public safety, 29%, and that includes your police and fire department there. The next largest chunk would be sewer, your water fund and your sewer fund, followed by public works there, just to give you an idea of when you put everything together, where you spend your dollars. If we can go back to page 2. As I indicated, in addition to the general fund, there's a lot of what's called funds, and they're really little businesses within the township that are accounted for separately. And you're going to see those listed at the bottom of page 2. The statement of revenues, expenses, and changes of fund balance. You'll see your police fund. You'll see the revenues and expenditures there. They were to the good $60,888 this year. Your fire department had revenues over expenditures of $29,187 when you take transfers into account. The CARES fund, basically, you used up the CARES money, so there was a negative $64,622. Your parks, you had expenses over revenues of $104,888. The road fund, you did some road projects, so you had expenses over revenue of $170,316. The ambulance fund, the money comes in and goes out. Your cemetery fund basically had expenses over revenues of $22,296. Your liquor was to the good $4,901. Your museum was to the good $55,231. Your building inspection was the positive $13,841, and your transportation fund was a positive $5,352. And then your perpetual care fund just brought in $1,500 of revenue. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make a note that the museum was not 55,231, it was 5,000.
Oh, 5,000, yeah, 5,231. And that included a $10,000 transfer from the general fund.
Right.
And one thing, just because these funds may have spent more money than they took in a given year, they're designed, some of these funds are designed to do that. They accumulate money and then do a project. So that doesn't mean it's a negative. You control it by how you budget your dollars each year, but that's the bottom number. And thanks for putting that out. Top of page 3, you just list the fund balance for each of those funds. And there's 3 categories. There's what they call non-spendable, which are items that you can't spend again, items that you paid for in 24 that benefit 25, restricted dollars, which is most of it, like for instance your police fund, all that money is restricted just for police operations. Committed is where the township board has set it aside for a particular purpose, and then just a total column. And you'll see you have a positive fund balance for all those funds. You'll see your police fund balance of $257,000, your fire fund to $64,119, your park fund has a fund balance of $1,921,414, your road fund $743,272. Again, the ambulance fund, the money comes in and goes out, and then you can see your cemetery, liquor, museum fund balance for each of those. In addition to what they call special revenue funds, you have what they call proprietary funds, or funds that operate similar to a business, your water and your sewer fund. And this shows the operations for each of those funds. We also, in parentheses, put the page number in the big booklet. If you want more detail, it spells it out in a lot more detail than we do right here. But your water fund was to the good $194,000, and your sewer fund was to the good $1,071,000. There's a lot of projects you're trying to set money aside for there for some of those areas. On the next page, the refuge fund, you'll see the revenues and expenditures. They were actually to the good $39,579. You also have what they call component units. They operate under a separate board. You'll see the DDA there and the EDA, and you see the activities for each one of those. The fund balance in your DDA was $1,029,387 at the end of the year, and your EDC was $111,352. real quick synopsis of the number section. I can spend a lot more time with you, going through them. Overall, you're in excellent financial condition. I can answer a lot more numbers. There's a couple more letters I just would like to touch on after I answer any questions regarding the numbers.
You want to have any questions for Paul regarding the numbers?
In the back of the hard copy that we handed out, there's a couple letters. The first one I'd like to talk about is the independent auditor's report on internal control. When a CPA firm does an audit, not only do we audit the numbers, but we take a look and to make sure there's two sets of eyes on all transactions, that you have good internal control, spots, checks back and forth. And if we become aware of any areas that there's weaknesses, we're required to report it to this board, and that's what this letter is, and I'll just briefly touch on them. The first one's kind of a technicality. When Enron was going on years ago, the accounting profession came up with a crazy idea that everybody should have staff that could draft that set of financial statements. That's pretty difficult. You got to be pretty large to do that. Most of our clients, the CPA firm like you, hire us to do that for you. But technically, it's a weakness in the system because we propose entries to get your financial statements in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. But really, the cost benefit there doesn't, you really can't do a lot about that. The second one there on the second page is the 24-2 is just controls over the cash receiving. We just like some changes in the cash receiving procedures. Now, some of it has to do with the software that you use, and it's difficult to do things back and forth. But some of the things that happen is you kind of batch things versus recording them individually as they come in, and it's better if you record them individually when they come in. Like you go through the Meyer store, when you go through the checkout, every single item is checked out. It's better if you can do that there, and that's what we're talking about with that. Probably the big one there is 24-3, controls over bank reconciliation process should be improved. Your bank recs won't reconcile for most of the year, and they should be reconciled at the end of each month, within probably 30 days of the end of the month. So we're suggesting that you come up with a procedure to get that accomplished. The next one on page, access to accounting modules should be reviewed. Your accounting system has the ability to just limit the people that can use certain modules. For instance, the payroll module. There's only certain people that need access to that. Your system has the ability to sit there and say, okay, only Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith can get access to it. Everybody else can maybe look at it, but can't produce any checks. And we found some areas where people that probably don't need the access, we didn't find any unusual things, but don't need the access, so we're saying to just go through, limit that to who has access to who needs it, back and forth, and we just take the controls down. And then finally, reconciling your utilities accounts receivable to the accounting records. As you know, you bill water and sewer services as well as trash services, and there's a whole kind of billing system that's out there, and at the end of each month, that should be reconciled to your accounting system, and this year it was. The second letter is just an audit communication letter, because CPA firms aren't required to come to a meeting like this. We always have to answer any questions. It just kind of talks about the process and whether there's any difficulties and things like that. Your staff is very cooperative with us. There's also some other suggestions on the back. They're not what we call weaknesses in the system, but it could help the system. As I said before, when we get done the audit, we come out and we probably spend 2 to 3 hours going through it with the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer, and talking about each page of the audit report and each one of these comments. I will be happy to answer any questions you have on the numbers or the letter.
Anyone have any questions for Paul?
Thank you. Very good presentation.
pleasure to work with you again.
Thank you. All right, item F, approve resolution number 09-2025-15A. Resolution approving Port Huron Township's application to the St. Clair County Road Commission for funding under the 2026 Local Road System Funding Assistance Program. What I'm applying for here is Atkins Road reconstruction. Atkins Road has not had any serious work done to it in quite some time. It's just had the basic Band-Aid work, maintenance work done to it, but it's to a point now where we should start over to a certain point. The county would take the existing road and grind it up, crush and reshape it with new asphalt. And the project includes an addition of a 5-foot shoulder on one side for walkers and bicyclists. The money would be coming from that. I'm requesting $100,000 from the road commission. That's the most we can ask for with this program. Match amounts, $350,000 from the road village, $450,000 from the township general fund for a total construction cost of $800,000. And it's, of course, 1.4 miles long.
How long will this take?
They didn't give me a time frame on how long it would take. I can't imagine it would take too long, but there has to be some ditching done to keep the room for the paved shoulder.
It's the road where they put the water shoulder on.
What side do you want it on?
Well, if you do it my side, I did.
This one on the other side.
I thought so, but
I'm not for sure, but that's what they.
I have a question on the request from the road commission. Are you pretty confident we'll get that $100,000?
Would it be this year or next year?
Next year. I still haven't done our one from this year yet. We're kind of in a waiting game for Moak Street. The city wants to run water down their side too, and we're gonna work in conjunction with them to kind of ease each other's wallet, both get a project done.
Mr. Supervisor, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 09-2025-15A. The amount of, or just our portion of it.
Right. Is there support?
I'll
Support by Dudash. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Reno,
Yes.
Dudash,
Yes.
Schwanka,
Yes.
Pringle,
Yes.
Lewandowski,
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
I'm a little out of order there, I apologize.
Pardon me?
That's everything.
Item G, approve contractors pay application number 5, Telco contracting for Bakersfield pathway. I just want to let you know, that pathway is being hugely,
Well,
I never
a lot of people comment on it. It's being used big time.
I took my mother down there last night, and there were just tons of people. So,
It's very nice.
very worthwhile project. So need a motion to approve pay application number 5 in the amount of $163,710.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dudash, is there support?
Support.
Support by Falk. Is there any further discussion?
No. We're gonna put a little barriers and boxes. No, Yes.
Falk,
Yes.
Reno,
Yes.
Pringle,
Yes.
Shonka,
Yes.
Lewandowski.
Yes. Item H, approve the appointment of Jenna Lemon to a vacancy on the Recreation Board. We have a letter from her. I think she would be a great addition.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Reno, support by Dudash. Is there any discussion?
So she's not here tonight?
No. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I think that board needs some new spark. Approval of bills.
Motion we approve the prepaid bills, the amount of $982,595.52.
A motion by Shonka, is there support?
I'll support it.
Support by Reno. Is there any discussion regarding the prepaids? Seeing none, roll call by the deputy clerk.
Shonka,
Yes.
Reno,
Yes.
Falk,
Yes.
Yes.
Dudash, Pringle,
Yes.
Lewandowski.
Make a motion we approve the current bills, the amount of $694,200.58.
Motion by Shonka, is there support?
I'll support that.
Support by Pringle. Is there any discussion regarding the current bills? Seeing none, roll call.
Shonka,
Yes.
Pringle,
Yes.
Falk,
Yes.
Reno,
Yes.
Yes.
Dudash, Lewandowski.
Yes. Board correspondence, does anybody have anything?
Simcoe got a few if you want to listen to them. We'll probably see a plain circle in the county again at the township. Not being the photos again, they probably did the whole state after 10 years. Now they start all over again. Finally got everybody to get on board faster this time. The reason it took 10 years was there was counties in the north that didn't want to be photographed.
Never know.
Either way, I did do a walk of another park. Did bring pictures if you want to see them. I think I showed them to a couple people. I ran from the. It was at West Warren and McDonald's. It starts where the railroad was abandoned through the work section. It'll go from downtown Detroit all the way out to Oakland County. Time the project's done, it'll be $231 million. That's all concrete. They're not putting asphalt down. That's the pavilion they did there. This is a picture of the seat. They made the seats of the picnic tables out of 8x12s, so kids down there couldn't bust them. And it was a pretty big board. They did do another exercise park in there as well. I thought it was kind of neat, more like all the equipment you do, and they did it for kids. And then they did the emergency phone systems. They're all solar, and they hook up, and they go through. But what impressed me and every kid I've shown was the slide.
Ours looks better than that.
And that doesn't get hot for some reason. The metal they use doesn't get hot in the sun. It was 80-something degrees that day. You could touch the metal. I thought it would burn my fingers, like the old steel slides. But they're looking at, the total length of the walkway will be just over 24 miles. And it pathways, one for bikes and one for walkers. Because bikers don't wanna get interrupted by walkers don't wanna get run over by bikes. And the community has the option out, which I, again, absolutely against, no dogs in our section. Which I think is a kind of a mean thing. I know there's a couple people in here that like to walk their dogs on the pathways. Plus the wild coyotes on our new pathway, they like it too. But they just can't go 3 feet over in the grass. And they're also making it, all the plants along that walkway will be all natural, native plants, so they won't have to have watering systems. Which saves money. They have to pay for all that concrete.
That pavilion, does that have a working fireplace in it?
Yes.
It's probably gas fired.
No.
It's wood?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah, them downtown Detroit people don't smell wood smoke. That's exactly how it's put to it. It's a working fireplace.
Wow.
But they've used it a couple times, but only when they have
Special events or something?
special events, yeah. Because I'm sure they have to have a fire department around there somewhere close. Or EMS. I'm not sure. Just my thoughts when I'm thinking of a live wood fire going. Just can't turn it on and have it off.
All right. John, did you have something?
Yeah, this is reference to the new walking path down there. I don't know if we have plans on putting up signage that, for like golf carts and bikes and all that are not allowed. I guess that would be.
Bikes aren't allowed?
E-bikes, I mean, that, like.
E-bikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's, people are walking and they come up behind them and it's, I guess it's, we designate it as a walking path, and I don't know that.
Walking/biking.
Okay, well, I think that should be some control over the type of bikes on there. Some of those e-bikes, they can, I mean, they go 30 miles an hour.
I'm expecting the golf carts. I haven't seen any yet. When I was down there last night though, one golf cart actually pulled up and parked where the boat trailers park. And actually they got off the golf cart and walked it back.
That's great, but just so they're not
Yeah.
driving a golf cart down the center.
I know, about a few years ago, there was a lady and her daughter down there riding the golf cart on the paths around the park. And I just stopped them and politely said, you can't, I told them you can't ride the golf cart on the paths. You can on the roads and whatnot, but not on the walking, biking paths. I got a call from her husband the next day and said, well, there's no sign telling us we can't. I said, well, there was no sign telling them that you could ride it down the road to get to the park either. That's not technically allowed either. Anyways.
About that.
Yeah, Jan, we got a sign this long. I would say if you're gonna focus on things you don't want on your path, don't forget the scooters. Kids now have these powered scooters, maybe it's not now, maybe they've had it for a while, and they fly down the road to those things. I would suggest that.
Probably a good rule would be just, I was thinking, is looking up at what the county allows on theirs, and then just following that same.
Because I know like even on our walking path that we have on Water Street, I mean, there's a sign at both ends that says no motor vehicle. So where do you draw the line? What's the e-bike? Is that motor? So I mean, where do you? I know things that, when that was no motor vehicle, we didn't have e-bikes. So.
Disabled people on a scooter, it's gonna be hard to parse that, so.
I know that at the planning commission, we talked about it a little bit. We were waiting for the state was in the process of making a got a throttle, or if it's got a governor, they're allowed, but just to have them so they can go as fast as they want. That's just something we need to look at.
Well, I'm gonna tell my mother when I see her, that young John Reno said, to keep off the path with your little handicap motorized scooter. I think you would get in trouble if you didn't know about this.
But I mean, that,
I mean, just from the handicap standpoint, yes. Just,
that's something we need to look at.
we'll see what the county's got.
I was gonna bring that up about e-bikes. You know, you have to stop for a bike or a bus, for those e-bikes fly, when the red flashes are on, they fly right past it. And a bicycle doesn't have to stop for the flashers.
I don't know what the laws are for that.
That's why I was gonna ask the sheriff tonight. If you go up, crash it, you fly past the buses.
Put a couple stupid folks in your truck and just toss them out.
That's all I got.
Okay.
I got some. So on everybody's desk, I put a copy of a couple things. I'd like to start a conversation about removing fluoride from the public water system. Gave you all a copy of Kimball's Township opposition to the addition of fluoride to the public water system. It was signed on August 19th of this year. And then also I have Dr. Nevin's memorandum for fluoride in the St. Clair public water systems. And the reason he put the memorandum out is because the feds, the EPA, Kennedy, they're talking about taking fluoride out of the water systems. I've been researching this for a couple of months now, doing a lot of research on this. It's very interesting. You know, the fluoride can be a naturally occurring element. We do have some in the St. Clair River. It's approximately 0.4 parts per million. The limit they set is 0.7 is what they try to get the fluoride in the water up to. Fluoride was first put in the water 45 years ago, not 45, back in 1945 in Grand Rapids, and a lot has changed since then. And we've got we've got a lot of fluoride in everyday foods. You know, it's in our cereals, it's in our soups, it's in our juices, it is in our sodas, teas, it's in a lot of products that we have. So it's very easy for us to get too much fluoride into our system, and it's especially dangerous for young children. Neurotoxicity of the brain is what they're finding with fluoride. Fluoride can cause cancers, bone cancer, it can affect your kidneys, there's all kinds of things with fluoride. So I have for Penny, I have an MSDS on fluorosilicic acid, and this, would you pass that down to Penny? If she could put that into the meeting minutes, I would really appreciate that. And that's a 11-page MSDS, and it's telling you about all the dangers of, you know, they don't want you to ingest it, they don't want you, you know, it can cause blindness, it can, you know, it can cause all kinds of problems when this chemical is just used on its own, but yet they put it in the water that we ingest. And I think this need to relook at, you know, to reevaluate. I think that probably the best way to do the fluoride is, you know, we've got fluoride in dental toothpaste, we've got fluoride in mouthwashes. Our dental care is so much better than what it was when we first started fluoridating the water back in 1945. So much has changed in our world. So, like I said, I'd just like to start a conversation, not tonight, but I just wanted to throw it out there to you guys. You know, maybe this could be something that we look at, doing our own resolution. Port Huron provides water to 5 municipalities. Like I said, Kimball has their resolution, and there's still 4 others. But I really think it's something that's worthwhile for us to, you know, a deep dive on. Just, you know, go in and Google it and just get some more information on your own. You're going to find information both pro and con. I I will say that the dentists have a very good, not a union, but a very good, the MDA here in Michigan, they're very active, they're very proactive, they're going out to a lot of municipalities and they're giving speeches on why we should fluoridate the water. I don't agree with it, agree with them at all. They're given minutes, or not minutes, they're given scripts, to read at these meetings, or given scripts when they write to the letters of the, or editors of the newspapers. I'm on the advisory board of health. We've gotten letters from out of state. We got a letter from Florida. We're getting letters from out of our county. They're very organized, and fluoride has its place, but not swallowing it, and going throughout your whole body. It belongs on the teeth. So that's all I'm saying. Hopefully we can start talking about this, and hopefully you guys will read it, the information that I gave you. But it's gonna happen eventually to where the feds are gonna come out and they are gonna outlaw fluoride in the water. And Dr. Nevin's position in the health department is just he wants to get ahead of it. He thinks the sooner the better, especially given the neurotoxicity of the brains. These young children, these babies, who are the pregnant ladies, and they just get so much concentrated fluoride in their formulas in the water. It's very, very, very bad for the development of their brains. So I'd like to think that, we can start talking about it and maybe do a resolution eventually. That's it.
Anybody else?
I got one. Fall Fest. This weekend, it's the 20th, between 11 and 2. At Beach Road Park, we're gonna have inflatables, games, pony rides, magicians, crafts, Texas Roadhouse, Lions is gonna be there.
Yep.
Your vehicle, your trailer.
Yeah, we're gonna have the eyesight, taking pictures of children's eyes.
And a couple others that escape me, but they plan on being there. Fire department's gonna be there, from what I understand. Sheriff department most likely. 11 to 2.
I got a few things tonight. Interstate Capital, they're still looking and seeing what they want to do with the site down there at 32nd and T. I've not heard of any particulars.
They're zoned properly.
Huh?
They're zoned properly, so.
Yep, they're zoned properly, and that's where the industrial's supposed to be, and it'll bring us more tax base anyways. So, a week ago, last Friday, I think it was, Randy and I went to the 100 Men fundraiser that the Community Foundation puts on. It's $100 to go, and I was looking at, you could either win $5, $3, or $2,000 if your charity got picked out of the hat. I went there with the anticipation of trying to get more money for a pavilion for back here. I didn't get picked out of the hat, and neither did Randy. But we spent our own money on this. We didn't use township funds. So I'll make that part clear. But, and it was a good night. We went to the place that the Walker Brothers are fixing up down at the end of Connor Street at the river.
You know, the fountain, I think it's called.
They're doing a lot of work there.
On the water?
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll be able to actually drive in your boat and go in the little harbor they got there, go
Got to drive through.
under the building and
Really?
pick up food or whatnot.
Seen it when I went by there.
Oh my gosh. Looking at that building over the years, you wouldn't think, it's pretty solid, cool looking building on the inside from many years ago. DWRF, Drinking Water Revolving Fund, that we've been trying to get money through. This is the third year, and we did not get anything. What it is, it's like a low interest loan. It seems like the municipalities that aren't very well with their money and don't have any money usually So, we weren't approved for it. I did ask for money this last go-around through Representative McLean's office, and we didn't get it this time. This is where we got the money for the pump station on Maywood. I think it's Maywood.
Yeah.
And some other locals and myself met with her. It's probably been a few weeks now. And I mentioned it to her, and she urged me to apply again. And we're having a scheduled meeting with her and some others in her, not in her office, but with her office in November. So we'll try that process again. We're looking at a program to be able to have the residents sign up for, so that we can give alerts through text. It seems like when people get texted alerts, that is the most read alerts that people get, instead of going on a website or whatnot. It'll be an app that they can have, and we can send out different alerts, and we can also take on, it'll have a map at our end that we'll be able to say a water main's broke and we're gonna shut down a section of road. We'll be able to circle that area that's gonna be affected, and it'll only send alerts out to those people. And we're investigating it some more, and I would like to, we'll probably try to do a like a Zoom meeting with them maybe at our next board meeting, and they can show us what they've got. Go from there. I think we'll also be able to do surveys. So, looking for something to get people to look at what's going on instead of just Facebook and website. And if people get notices by text, they tend to look at those sooner than emails or online. Other than that, that's all I have.
So what's the latest, you talked to Mr. Yoder about the
I haven't had the time to get up there yet, but I want to get up there soon. It's been very busy here. But at least get some prices, so even if we can, what I would want to do is, the museum has raised some money, we want to put a pavilion up. I said, if the township pays for the pavilion, we have to put the thresher and the steam tractor under it, so that
I thought this was the human pavilion.
if the township's putting money into it, it's gonna be for that stuff, so that we can have the building for storage, and then we'll empty out try to get all the cemetery stuff out of the bottom of the museum and put it over there, along with sealing it up really well to maybe do some record storage.
Even that money that we got from the community foundation, the grant money that we got, that's not gonna be for the, that'll be for the,
That'll be put towards the pavilion.
for the humans?
We're only doing one pavilion back there.
I think a pavilion, we've talked about this before.
If humans are gonna go back there and have a picnic, there's all kinds of shade trees back there.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
The discussion with the community foundation was that that pavilion would be for educational purposes for the museum, and also for like the township people to use for different events and things, not for the Thrasher. That's what that was discussed with the community foundation.
Okay, I guess we still need to fundraise then.
One more thing, Bob. With the donation of cement from the Wadham Cement Company and Scott from Extreme Power, I don't know if you want to reach out to them and just let them know what plans are, because I fear by the end of the year, they're just gonna say we waited too long, and that free gift is gonna go to the wayside. So I don't know if you can
I know
reach
Scott,
out.
he'll honor it.
I know, but just to take and let them know we're still interested in that, so, because that was a good gift from both companies. So, it's a lot of money to save the township.
You know, how many picnic tables do you want under a pavilion?
Are you asking me?
Museum people.
Because originally we had looked at a total of 6, with a couple of them being handicapped accessible.
You do all that, it's gonna be a damn big pavilion. I'll look at the numbers, but I would like to get that stuff outside so people
I
can
know.
see it.
I'd like to have 2
I think
pavilions.
that would be just as educational as anything else, that people can actually see the stuff and ask questions. But we'll discuss it Wednesday night, I think.
You know, when you talked earlier about the low interest loans for the water and that, in years past, we did some of those, and after you had them for a few years, they were forgiven, so. Doesn't mean you're gonna have it for the whole duration of the loan.
Yeah, we've done one already for the last water project. We didn't, still paying that.
And they forgive,
No.
like, years ago they did, when they did, like, we did Atkins Road and out that way,
I think that might have been through rural water.
it was rural down.
Now that we're over 10,000 people, we don't qualify for that.
Okay.
So is it like?
I just remember back, we took the loan, but then after, I don't know, a couple of years, they forgave the loan, and it was.
So is it?
Now we're too big, okay.
Like for infrastructure, the.
For water mains.
Water mains, okay.
And if we don't get some money here soon, we're gonna, I feel we have to just start breaking the project even into smaller pieces and just do with what we've got. Nobody else has anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, motion to adjourn? Support by?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All in favor?
Aye.